Beyond a Steel Sky is an adventure game set in a world dominated by a few huge cities that are permanently at war. Our hero, Robert Foster, comes from an area called the Gap, which is outside one of these city-states, Union City, the last place that he really wants to be. Beyond a Steel Sky is the sequel to the cult classic Beneath a Steel Sky. Released in 1994, Beneath a Steel Sky is set in a dystopian city run by a rogue AI called Link. At the end of Beneath a Steel Sky, Foster left his AI friend Joey in charge of the city with the specific instructions to make sure that the people of Union City are happy. He's been away for 10 years. When Foster returns, he is inquisitive about what's happened in the city, but there are also reasons why he hasn't been back. While it's absolutely not necessary at all to have played the original game, for those who have, this is a continuation. This game is very much about how an AI would interpret a prime directive to make people happy. The vision for the gameplay is that Foster finds himself in a really dynamic world, populated by intelligent characters that move around performing duties that are based by their own internal motivations. Within this world, we have a system called virtual theatre, and it's this idea that characters are motivated by desires that are specific to them, and the gameplay comes from the player having to work out how to subvert the world. And in subverting these virtual theatre characteristics, those characters change their behaviour, so interesting and emergent behaviours evolve. And from that, it creates the opportunity to move the story forward, it creates fun and funny outcomes, and of course it allows the player to solve puzzles. All the network systems in this world are driven by a single control, an AI Link. The expected behaviours can be then subverted by actually hacking into that system and moving commands around. It allows the player to create events that would be unexpected by those characters, and those characters then respond accordingly. So we have this very rich world that responds both to what the player does in the world, but also what the player does from a hacking perspective to change those systems. This is a project that Dave Gibbons and I have talked about for probably close to 20 years. We've had stops and starts, we've come up with scripts, but we decided that having successfully developed Broken Sword 5 by self-funding the project, now is the ideal time to get back together with Dave to write a sequel to Beneath a Steel Sky. We agreed that actually now was probably an ideal time because we could keep control of the development from a creative perspective, but also we could develop it in the way that we wanted. We were lucky enough to bring forward some profits for Broken Sword 5, and we were able to actually fund a prototype to prove that we could combine virtual theatre, the link hacking system, the subversion of the systems and how they responded, and then on top of that, how we could overlay pure adventure gameplay underpinned by virtual theatre and link hacking. So we were absolutely delighted when Apple approached us and they talked about a new initiative they had. When they saw the game, they were really pleased. And we're incredibly flattered that it's going to be one of the lead titles for Apple Arcade and will be also releasing on PC and console. Dave acts as art director, so he'll contribute to elements of the story, character design, city design, all of these elements which actually allow him to then design those characters. He'll feedback on the look of the game once it's been modelled. He's a joy to work with. Revolution are based in the beautiful city of York, right in the heart of the medieval centre, bustling with people. It's a terrific place to be based. We have a wonderfully dynamic team. About half of us are people that worked at Revolution previously on our previous games with enormous experience, and the other half have come in, many straight from college. So we have a very dynamic, interesting group of people, people with experience, people with new ideas, and I think that's really important to create a video game that feels really dynamic, really fresh, really new. We've been writing adventure games at Revolution for 30 years. Beyond a Steel Sky is the culmination of all of these ideas. It's our most ambitious adventure to date, and we hope that it'll be seen to redefine the adventure genre.